Welcome to Rizal Rebooted, the podcast where we take the 19th century nationalist predictions and crash them straight into the year of the 2026. I am Isaiah Daniel J. Tipan.
And I'm JP Kim Di Manigo. Today we're putting the spotlights on Jose Rizal essay, The Philippines. A century hence, it was written in 1889, deep in the Spanish colonial era. And Rizal basically tried to predict what's the Philippines would look like 100 years later.
And now, more than a century after that, we're here. In 2026, we're a nation of TikTok activism, algorithm driven identities, and economic diaspora. So, we gotta ask, did Rizal's crystal ball work or did he completely miss the plot?
That's the big question. We'll break down his key prediction on national identity, colonial mentality, independence governance, and reform, and then drag them into our reality. Social media, youth, politics, cancel culture, and equality, globalization, all of it.
Well then, let's get into it. So first, a quick crash course. In the essay, Rizal argued that the Philippines would eventually gain independence, but how soon and how peacefully depended on entirely on the choices of the Filipinos and the Spanish.
Wait, so independence wasn't guaranteed? He thought he could fumble.
Basically, yes, Rizal believed Spain would either reform its colonial policy, giving Filipinos rights, education, and representation, or it would keep oppressing people until a revolution exploded. If Spain chose reform, independence might come peacefully later. If it chose repression, the Philippines might be violently taken by another power.
In the spoiler, history chose option 2. Spain didn't reform fast enough. The revolution happened, and then the United States walked in like, hey, let me civilize you.
Exactly. And Rizal warned about that. He said if Filipinos weren't ready to govern themselves, if we lack national unity and education, we'd just trade one colonizer for another. That's his central idea. Self awareness and education are the conditions for freedom.
And that connects hard to his other prediction. National identity, Rizal argued that as long Filipinos kept seeing themselves through the colonizer eyes, they'll never truly be free. He called out colonial mentality before it was even a clinical term in modern psychology.
Right? He said that the loss of our own identity would lead us to imitate foreign cultures, undervalue our own, and eventually just disappear as a distant people.
He really said, if you don't love your own, you will become a knockoff version of your oppressor. Still slaps today.
On governance, Rizal believed that the state should protect rights, promote education, and be led by morally upright citizens, not just the elites. He envisioned a government that was accountable, which was radical at the time.
So he basically wanted to good governance and meritocracy. Not the Padrion system and the political dynasties we inherited got it.
And finally, social reform. Rizal bet everything on education. He famously said that education is the foundation of a nation's well being. He wanted mass literacy, civic awareness, and free thinking. Without that, freedom would just be cosmetic.
So let me summarize his prediction. Number one, independence is possible but not inevitable. Number two, colonial mentality could destroy national identity. Number three, the Philippines might just swap colonizer. Four, governance should be ethical and rooted in the people. And five, education is the ultimate weapon.
That's right. That's perfectly put. Now let's see how these predictions look in the year 2026. Let's start with the big one, digital nationalism. Rizal never saw the internet coming, but his prediction about losing national identity in the face of foreign influence is playing out in real time, just not through Spanish friars, but through algorithms.
Exactly. In 2026, our daily screen time average sometimes like 10 hours. Our feeds are curated by global tech companies. We consume more American, Korean, and Japanese content than local. A Pinoy creator can go viral only if they cater to the Western gaze. Rizal fear that we'd copy foreign cultures and reject our own. That's literally happening at an algorithmic level.
Yes, but here's the twist. Social media also created a form of digital nationalism. Hashtags like hashtag buying digital, hashtag never forget, or hashtag bigyang katarungan showed that the youth are still using the colonizer's tool, language, and platforms to fight for identity and justice.
True. Rizal used the Spanish language and European ideas to write against Spain. We're doing the same thing, using TikTok to critique government, Twitter to organize protests, Facebook to share community pantries. Digital colonization is real, but digital resistance is too. The youth are online, loud, and politically awake.
And that ties to his second prediction. Youth youth participation in politics. Rizal said the future depended on whether Filipinos were educated and politically aware. In 2026, Gen Z is one of the most largest voting blocs. According to 2020 census, there are over 41 million Gen Zs in the Philippines. That's nearly 38% of the population. That's a massive political force.
But awareness doesn't always mean action. Voter turnout among youth is improving, but disinformation still spreads like wildfire. Al might cry if he saw how fake news warp civic awareness. We have the tool, education, but it's competing with algorithm and conspiracy theories. So his prediction is half true. The opportunity for political maturity is there, but we're still fighting the ghost of colonial mentality in the form of foreign-funded troll farms.
And on economic inequality, Rizal's hope was that independence would lead to a fairer society. The reality, in 2026, the Philippines still has stark wealth gaps. Economic dependent relationships with China and the Western powers still shape policy. Overseas Filipino workers remain a cornerstone of the economy, which means we're exporting citizens to survive.
And that's a direct echo of Rizal's warning about trading colonizer. Instead of one imperial master, we got global capitalism keeping us relevant. Our identity is scattered across the globe. Filipinos are everywhere. But who exactly are we as a nation when so many of us have to live to build a life?
That's a painful but important question. Globalization has made Filipino identity fluid but also fragile. On one hand, we're proud globally. P-pop is rising, Filipino food is trending, Phil artists are at the top of the charts. On the other hand, many young Filipinos feel more connected to international pop culture than our own.
Rizal wanted a strong, educated national identity. We have a hybrid one. It's it's not all bad. We're global players now, but the colonial mentality he described hasn't vanished. It just changes its accent and move into our phones.
So, the big question, did Rizal's prediction come true?
Said partly, he got the structure right, but the didn't foresee the digital complexity. Colonial mentality, very much alive, but now it's aesthetic. We romanticize the West, but we also romanticize the simple provincial life on TikTok. National identity, we're in an ongoing battle between Western influences and local pride. And the internet is both the battlefield and the weapon.
Okay, so what about independence and governance?
We are legally independent, but economically and digital dependent. Governance is still messy. Political dynasty are alive and well, and corruption hasn't learned new tricks, just new platforms. Results dream of ethical leadership is still aspirational, not default, but I'd say the biggest win is education and youth awareness. Rizal bet on the youth as the hope of the nation. And in 2026, more young people are politically active and skeptical of authority than ever before. We just need to we just need to channel that into sustained nation building, not just temporary outrage.
What about challenges that still exist that Rizal wouldn't have imagined?
The sheer scale of this formation is historically revisionism. Rizal fought against the distortion of history by colonial powers. But in 2026, we're fighting our own compatriots who rewrite history for political gain. Social, med- Social media makes it easy to flood feeds with the fake narratives, and that directly undermines the educated critical thinking citizenry Rizal dreamed of. He knew that the nation that forgets its past can chart its future, and we're seeing that play out in real time.
Okay, so what about the role? What role should the youth play in nation building now?
Same role Rizal played honestly. Be educated, be critical, and create. At in 2026, that means producing content that counters disinformation, building community-based initiatives that aren't just for likes, holding politicians accountable online and offline, and reclaiming our identity not by rejecting foreign influences entirely, but by making sure they don't erase us.
In short, less performative nationalism, more consistent civic work.
Low key, that's it.
So, here's our takeaway. Rizal was uncannily accurate about the patterns, colonial mentality, the importance of education, the risk of trading one master for another, but the medium has changed entirely. In 2026, the battlefield isn't just the state, it's the screen.
This essay was a warning and a roadmap. We're still on the map, but we've taken detours. The youth are indeed the hope, but hope isn't passive. Rizal didn't just hope. He wrote, organized, and ultimately died for the nation. We don't have to die, but we have to show up.
If he were alive today, Rizal would probably be a chaotic academic Twitter account with a TikTok series debunking disinformation and a podcast just like this one.
For real. And if you ask him for his final message, he might point you to what he wrote in the letter to his friend, Ferdinand Blumentritt. If I could only be a professor in my country, I would stimulate these Philippine studies which are like the se de ipsum, no, the concept that gives the true concept of oneself and drives nation to the great things. And if that's too long for a tweet, he also put it bluntly. Ignorance is servitude. A man who does not think for himself and allow himself to guided by the thought of another is like a beast led by halter.
Well, that's it for today. Thank you for listening to Rizal Rebooted. Keep thinking, keep questioning, and remember, Rizal was once a young guy with ideas, and so are we.
Peace.